Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week and a profitable week for that matter. The market has been on a trend, a lot of market moves. I hope you all caught that because there were some really good setups, some of which or most of which we have discussed in our webinar last week, Sunday, as well as during the week. So I will be doing some recaps of some of the setups and the forecasts that we have been trading in the week before we get started. All right, so if you want to attend this webinar live, you can go under the description of all the videos, all my videos. You'll find the contact details as well as my website. So that's where you're going to find the link to join this live. So the webinars, these webinars, we held them at 8 a.m. GMT every Sunday morning. So you can find the link so you can register for the webinar live on the website. You find it on the website. If you just go to the home page on the website, you will find the link right at the bottom. Okay, so if you'd like to attend this live, it gives you an opportunity to ask some questions as well. So this is the weekly webinar link. If you click here, you will register. You only have to register once, and then going forward, you don't have to register. You can attend any upcoming webinars after that. So that's how you can contact us. Now on the website as well, for any information that you want, you'll see there's a chat box there. There's a chat box. You can contact us via the chat box if you want any more information about what we do. That is all there. This comes directly to our email, and then we can respond to that. For the rest of the contact details, you'll find them in the social media platforms. You'll find them under the description of the videos. All right, so we'll start with the recap of the setups. So this will also give you an opportunity to see how we forecast the market and how our members benefit from the website. Now, without even doing a specific trade recap, I'm just going to show you how the US dollar pairs played out in the week with all the moves that has been happening. So I'm just going to go straight into the US dollar pairs. We do about 200 charts a week. We update about 200 charts a week. That is about 47 instruments that we look at. Now let's look at the analysis that we looked at. We looked at Euro US dollar. I'm not going to show you how this played out eventually, but you can just go to the charts. If you're a trader, you know how the moves played out after the setups, and you also had an opportunity to see some of these setups last week Sunday. So this was the Euro US dollar on the 1 hour. Euro US dollar on the 1 hour, we expected it to make a push to the upside there to go retest the top there, and that is exactly how that played out. It is around 997 now, just about exactly where we expected it. It broke out here. Are we going to start seeing the reversal here? We're going to do the market analysis just now. So here I'm just showing you the forecast and how the members benefited from this. So this is the upside that we focused on Euro US dollar. All right, that was Euro US dollar 1 hour. Pound US dollar, this is what we looked at last week. Last week, I expected pound US dollar to make only a double move and then make a move to the downside. As you have seen, pound actually made another one here and another last move that retested the top before starting to make this move. We are right here on pound. Let me just show you what pound looks like. We are right here on pound. It looks like now we're going to get a move to the downside. So instead, you'll see the adjustment that we'll do when we start with the market analysis. This is going to be a WXY structure now because we made a move, we made a double. All right, so that was pound, only one of the few that we did not get right, and you'll see the rest here. There was pound, US dollar CAD. Now US dollar CAD, we expected it to make a move all the way down here. So this is how this one has played out. It has actually gone up to this level and made a bit of a bounce here. So we'll be updating how that is going to play out. Now, if you remember, US dollar CAD, let me just see if I got the 4 hour here. If you look at the 4 hour on US dollar CAD, you'll see that we focused at 3 moves on this one. Okay, let's just go back here on US dollar CAD 4 hour again. we forecasted last week. I showed you that we were forecasting that we wanted it to make a move to the upside and then make a move down here. So at the time we had one move in the week, we had this one also, and now we are around this level. We've made a pullback here, so we'll be updating how that is playing out. That is US dollar CAD, looking very good. Right, US dollar chief. US dollar chief is the inverse of Euro US dollar. We expected it to make a drop. That is exactly what has happened on US dollar chief. You'll see as we do market analysis how that is played out. We are now at these levels that we forecasted last week. So that is exactly the same as what the dollar index, the focus on the dollar index as well. We also focused that the dollar index was going to make this a similar move. Let me just skip through and go to the dollar index. You'll see it's a similar chart. The dollar index has also broken lower here. We are now here. Now the question is, from here, where do we go? Do we continue lower or do we continue higher? That is what we're going to do now when we start. Right, so going back to Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar, this is exactly how this one has played out, right at where we focused that it was going to reverse, and then it's making a move back now. So this is what it looks like, Audi US dollar, the latest chart. As you can see, we've made a move to the upside, and now we're starting a move to the downside. Now that is going to be a very nice trade to the downside. We'll talk about how that is going to play out shortly. Exactly one, and then the second move. Are we going to get all of these moves? So that still remains to be seen. We'll do the analysis just now. New Zealand US dollar was similar to US dollar, Audi US dollar. So we expected a move to the upside and then downside, and that is exactly how New Zealand US dollar has also played out. So as you can see, that was the focus. It didn't quite reach where we wanted it to reverse, but the move that we're looking for is not this one, but rather the downside that we're currently getting. And we're going to get this to the downside. So if these moves are coming down, if we're expecting these moves to come down, if we're expecting Euro US dollar to reverse, that means we'll be expecting the opposite, the inverse on the dollar index. So this is how these have played out. Okay, so let's go to the yen pairs. I'm going to show you the yen pairs quickly as well. Let's go to the yen pairs. There's a trade recap. So these charts we were looking at in the week. So let's go to the yen pairs now. All right, so pound yen. Pound yen, we were expected it to make a move to the upside. Didn't expect it to go up to 35 because this eventually made a move up to this level. It made a move back up to about 135. So I only wanted it to reverse around this area, but that's fine because the move that we're looking for now, it looks like it's starting to do that. So that's what we're going to be looking at. That is pound yen. US dollar yen, as you can see, this, we expected it to make a move down to this level. Are we going to get a bounce now on US dollar yen? Because we've now got this move. Let's just show US dollar yen there. This is US dollar yen, the move to the downside, as you can see. Let's switch this off and put it on the 1 hour so you can be a identical chart. Okay, so that was the forecast. Right, so we've made a move to the downside as expected here. We are around here, we've made a bounce, but is this gonna is it gonna continue higher as we forecasted? That's what we're gonna be looking at. That is US dollar JPY. Now, Chief EURJPY and Chief JPY, I did not update this because we were just looking for this from the 23rd of March. I showed this one last week. We expected that this was going to make a move up to this level and drop. And that is exactly what has happened. We have dropped around this area now. So we'll be looking for this one to, it has actually made a bounce here. Now, the bounce that came on Euro Yen and Chief Yen, we focused it in the week. I'm going to show you a quick preview of the video of how we looked at the reversal. So this is Euro Yen, and we have now made a reversal here, not quite at the 1.3 area, but at the it's quite a bit higher than that. It's a little bit at around 115, 116. That's where we got the reversal. Now we'll be looking for this. Now, Chief, it was an interesting one because with Chief we were able to forecast where the exact reversal was going to happen. Now, this is what we had on Chief. We expected it to drop from here. We expected it to drop from here, which has happened exactly like that. Now let's go to the live chart here on Chief JPY. I'll start by Euro Yen first, just to show you exactly how this has played out. So that was the move, the forecasted move to go up here and come down here. I expected it to go a little bit further down, but I'll show you why this reversed and we were able to pick it up, because this is it's a direct correlation with Chief Yen. Look at Chief Yen. Chief Yen, we were able to project the blue box. Now it looks like you have to see that this before we projected the blue box, because it's no point looking at this after the fact. So we forecasted that this was a 3-wave structure, and we expected it to reverse from the blue box. Now I'm going to show you the daily webinar from Thursday. Unfortunately, that is only for our members, and just to show you exactly what we were looking at on that. So we had already projected that blue box. If I go to that video, daily webinar 30 April. So I'm going to go to, okay, so all is saved there. Let's go there. I'm going to show you quickly. Let's go to the video itself, and then we go to the daily webinar on the 30th of April, so you can see exactly how we forecasted that. Right, so this was on the 30th of April, Thursday, before the reversal. So I'm going to go straight to Chief JPY so you can see what we were looking at. So this is Chief JPY on Thursday, just after Euro. Unfortunately, you won't see the sound. I just want you to see the forecast and when we projected the blue box. There's the blue box. That's where we're expecting the reversal. That's we eventually got the 100 pips from that level. So that's why we're indicating how the entry is going to come up and the move to the upside. That is Chief JPY. So Chief JPY had already reached its blue box, so we were able to focus that Chief and Euro were going to reverse. All right, so that's how we got that. Right, so looking at the rest of the pairs, I'm going to go through them a bit quickly now. Audi Yen, we expected it to make a move to the upside, actually pushed a little bit higher and then reversed. Now we're looking for the move to the downside. So this week there are a lot of setups. So we're gonna be trading a lot of this in the week. So lots of opportunities to make money coming week. That is Audi Yen and New Zealand Yen similar. We expected the New Zealand Yen to drop and make a move to the upside. Didn't quite drop. It actually just made a move to the upside like that. Okay, so now we are looking for this because now we've got the reversal. We've got the 3 waves there. Okay, so that is the Yen pairs. And looking at the crosses, I'm going to show you the crosses from Slack. Because these have already these are already updated on the website and are ready for next week already. So let's have a look at the crosses. Audi New Zealand. Let's look at Audi New Zealand first. Now the amazing thing about this is that these charts are. I'm not the only person that's doing this chart. I've got a partner that assists me with the charts. So the interesting thing is that even it doesn't matter who makes the chart, whether it's him or me, we always come to the same analysis because we work from the same rules and guidelines and the strategy. It's important to have a specific strategy. If you've got a strategy, you'll find that you do the same thing. So now let's have a look at this. This is Audi New Zealand. I'm looking at them from Slack as a summary because they are already updated on the website, so you won't see how it was before. So this is what it looked like before here on Audi New Zealand. From around 344 here, we focused that it was going to go to 750. Look what happened with Audi New Zealand. That is where we forecasted. We went all the way up to 750. We expected a pullback from 750. Now, as you can see, this is already the new forecast for the next week. That is Audi New Zealand. Next one was EURAUD. EURAUD is very interesting because we expected the drop and then a push to the upside, and that's exactly how they have played out. Almost 95% of the setups that we looked at have played out. So this is EURAUD. This was the focus that it was going to drop exactly at 65 and then make a move to the upside. Now we're looking for a 3-wave pullback, right? EURCAD. same again, we expected it to drop down to the lower boundary of the trend line and make a move, and we've already got that. Already about 120 pips to the upside. As you can see, that is exactly what happened right down there, and then we make a move to the upside. Okay, so from 500 to about 500 and to about 544, already over 300 pips up there on EURCAD. Right, so you can see how accurate this is. Now, this was AUDCAD. AUDCAD, we expected it to push from here, and this was the 2nd of April, in the beginning of April. And now look how AUDCAD has played out eventually. We've now reached that level. From here, we've gone up as forecasted. That is how AUDCAD played out. Now we're looking for downside, right? So that is next one is AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand, we focused that it was going to make a move to the downside here and then push higher. Let's look at how this one has played out. This is AUD New Zealand. I was looking for AUD. Sorry, I missed another one here. So I'll just carry on with what I'm seeing here. So these are now the indices. The indices we're gonna go through them now as we do the analysis, as well as the cryptocurrencies. As you can see, this is what we focused at. That is how they have played out. That was the S&P, that was the Dow. It has already played out like that. I'm not gonna go through the indices now. I'm gonna come back to these charts now as we start with the market analysis. So that is what we have been busy with, and you will also see the cryptocurrencies as we start now, how they have played out inch perfect with the forecast. Now let's get started with our analysis for this week. Start with the cryptocurrencies. Let me close some of these windows here so we can have a bit of space there. Right, let's close that, can close the videos there. Right, so that's what we have now. So let's start with the cryptocurrencies, and I'm going to be looking at the cryptocurrencies from the website as well, and focusing what the next move is going to be. Let's start with Bitcoin. I'm going to go back to Bitcoin. I see there's something on the chat box. Somebody's saying something. Okay, welcome, Gerald. So Gerald is one of the members that are assisting us with the charts. He's doing an excellent job, especially on the cross pairs and the euros. All right, so let's look at the cryptocurrencies. So guys, if you've got any questions, Gerald is on the chat box. He will be answering some of your questions there. Let's look at the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, this is actually the latest chart here. So we expected Bitcoin. I've been talking about 9,000 for a while now. We have reached the 9,000. What are we now expecting? We've made 3 waves to the upside. I'm expecting at least a pullback in 3 waves before any continuation to the upside. So whether this is going to be a pullback or a reversal, we're gonna identify that as we get more data. But for now, we should be able to get the pullback to the downside after the 3-wave move. So this is what Bitcoin looks like now. Let's look at the structure. I'm going to switch this off here. So on the 1 hour, we are pulling back here. We should be seeing something like this. We may get just a pullback and continuation to the upside. So we may still push a little bit higher because there is no indication or confirmation of downside as yet. So after that, we may then still see the pullback that we're expecting. So this is the structure. If you're interested in the exact structure, in the exact sequence and the labeling, this is what it looks like. I'm going to do a full screen here. So this is Bitcoin. So last week we expected to complete the last purple degrees up to 9,000. Okay, so all the cryptocurrencies we're looking for the last swing to complete up to the last wave of the correction. That is Bitcoin. And Ethereum, similarly, from the website, this is what we forecasted. We expected about 210. It actually went up to about 220. So this has now played out up to 220. We are now expecting a pullback after the 3 waves up, 3 waves back, and the 3 waves to the upside. We are now here. Now we expect a pullback. All right, so let's go to the actual chart, the current chart. Now, this is also showing signs of a reversal here. Is this going to be the reversal pullback that we're looking for? That is what we're going to be looking for here on Bitcoin. So let's see if this is going to be a double corrective structure here. And so this is Ethereum, and then continuation to the upside. Okay, so that's what we had on Ethereum. Cryptocurrencies, Litecoin. Litecoin was very interesting because we also focused more than one move here, that this was going to drop here and then make a move to about 57. Has actually gone only up to 55, but that's okay. Now let's have a look at Litecoin. That is Litecoin. As you can see, went up to about 50. Right, we went up to about 50, completing the 3 or the 11 swing sequence here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the Z. Now, that's why we are now expecting a pullback on the cryptocurrencies. Are we going to now start seeing a pullback here? Because there is indication that this is a pullback, and this we're going to be entering for a move to the downside. Is it going to be a short move to the downside or a big move to the downside? That will confirm depending on how this breaks out of this flag. But what we can see here is that we have completed this pullback in 11 swings correction. WXY, XZ, we should see something like this. Okay, so that's what we're going to be expecting on Litecoin. So this is what we focused on Litecoin, that it was going to drop and then make a move to the upside. That's how that played out. Ripple also has completed its move in 11 swings. That is the red WXY, XZ, 5 swings there. Let's just switch off there. And after the 5 swings, which is WXY, X, and then a Z. This is the Z that we were looking for last week with the moves that we were focusing. So this one now, are we going to get a pullback like that? Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. This we need to do it properly. This should actually only pull back. This is the correction. This is the 3 waves here. Right, so that is your structure on Ripple, and we'll be expecting a pullback now. It doesn't go up in a straight line, so we're expecting a pullback on Ripple. Basically, what we're looking for on the cryptocurrencies is pullbacks. All right, so let's look at the indices now. Let's look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, we have been looking for a 3-wave corrective structure at these levels. Okay, now let's have a look here on the S&P 500. What you see there is an already updated chart. So let me switch off here and show you what we were expecting before. So what we were expecting with the S&P 500 was that we expected the 3 waves up to this level. We expected that was going to play out, but what we see now is that it has actually made 5 waves. Now, if it's making 5 waves, as much as we're expecting 3 and then down, now this changes slightly. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That means this here is an A wave. But we started with 3 waves down here, with 3 waves here. So I'm going to show you that in purple. We started with these 3 waves here, or rather 5 waves there. That's 5 waves. This is going to be 5 waves now. If that is 5 waves, that means this is either going to give us something like this, because we've got 5 waves down and 5 waves up. So how do you handle that? Because what we are used to is a pulsing move in 5 waves, a correction, and then a continuation. But in this case, you've got 5 waves, you've got 5 waves. How do you handle that? So what we're going to be looking at here is this. This is the structure that we're now looking at on the indices. We'll be looking for a pullback at current levels. So a pullback, so we've already started with the move to the downside. This pullback, is this going to be an ABC corrective structure? Now I'm focusing that it's only going to go back to the 50% of this first move. It can go much lower. It can even get to this level, depending on the structure that it's forming. But the idea is that when you start getting confirmation for downside, you take the trade. If it gets to 50%, you take your profit from there. Now, there's a possibility that it does this. So that means you're going to have an ABC structure like that. So that means your corrective structure is just continuing like that. Let's use the blue here to show the corrective structure. So this could be a corrective structure here that is playing out, and then we eventually get something like this: down, up, and then down. So which means we may be still sideways on the indices. We may be going sideways, right? So after this crash to the downside here. So the next move that we're going to be expecting here is a downside, whether this comes down in, most likely to come in 3 waves. So if it comes down in 3 waves here and only up to 50%, then that means it's going to make a zigzag here. And if it comes down in 3 waves coming to retest the low here, that means it's going to be making a flat. For now, we are looking for entry here for downside. This is confirming downside, and that is the case for the Dow as well. So last week I showed you the relative strength between the Dow Jones Industrial and the Dow Jones Transportation. So now you can see now we have also got here 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 impulse. It's not a diagonal because the wave 4 does not come into the territory of wave 1 there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the Dow. We'll be looking for a pullback. Okay, back to the 50%. That's what we're expecting. Okay. All right, so that is what we're looking for. Somebody's asking, how do you identify 5 waves down on S&P 500? Unfortunately, I do not have the time to go through the theory on this. So you have to, maybe at the end of the webinar, I'll show you that. Ask me at the end of the webinar. All right, so the Dow Jones Industrial and the Dow Jones Transportation has also just made a new high here. So they're still going at the same, they still have the same relative strength. That means if we've made a new high on the transportation, we've also made a high on the industrial. So they are going, they've got same relative strength here. So now what we're going to be looking at here is a pullback back to the 50% of this first move at least. That's what we're looking at. Right, so pullback on the indices is the theme for the week. All right, NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, as you can see, it's also made a 5-wave move to the upside, so it's 5 down here. Somebody was asking how to identify 5 waves on the S&P 500. This is how I identified on the NASDAQ. It's going to be similar. Now it's another 5 waves up here, but this is a lower degree. As you can see, it's a shorter move. 1, 2, 3. Let's show this one. 1. My mouse is a bit skew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're expecting a pullback in 3 waves. So is this going to be a zigzag? If it's a zigzag, you're going to get something like this. Then it means that you've got A, you've got B here, you've got C. After that C, unfortunately, I don't have space. We should expect another 5 waves. Then that is a bigger A, a bigger B, and a bigger C. Okay, so that is if we get this. So the reason why we're not expecting that this is going to be a purple 5 down and a red pullback and then down is because this is impulsive. This is impulsive, so it's not a correction. So we should still get this one correcting like this. Okay, so the theme, as I'm saying, for this week is corrective structure and then pullback at least to the 50% retracement of these swings. That is the NASDAQ, the UK 100. Okay, and the UK 100, also let's show the structure here. Got a bit of a duplicate there. So the UK 100 looks very interesting because we are currently in wave 4. Let's go on the 4-hour. We are in wave 4, and that wave 4 has played out in 3 waves, which is what we like to see. So this was the wave 5 of 3 here in blue. We've made 1, 2, 3. Now we're making a move to the downside now. Look for a corrective structure and continuation to the downside. That is the UK 100. Let's go back to the 1-hour again. So that is the UK 100. Look for a corrective structure and then downside. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at on the UK 100. The DAX. DAX has also made what looks like a 5-wave move. Let's switch this off, yes. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulse. Now we're also looking for a corrective structure and a pullback on the DAX. That's what you're going to be looking for. After this correction in 5 waves, it's coming up in 5 waves again. So we should start seeing something like this. Okay, so that will be a whole corrective structure there. So now you're just going to look for this to pull back and you'll be looking for this to go down to the 50% of this move. That is the DAX, the Nikkei. Nikkei, also three-wave move. So 3 up, 3 back, and 3 up. So a W, X, Y structure. Are we going to see a three-wave pullback here? If it is a three-wave pullback, that's also going to be a WXY structure. And if that is the case, we should possibly see another one like that, which means this is going to be a double correction like that. We're only focusing for now. What we have enough data to focus is the next move, which is downside currently. So if this is the case, we could have this one as an X, and then this one as a Y, meaning a double correction, move down, double correction, and then a move to the downside. That is the Nikkei. So for now, the move is to the downside. We're expecting these pullbacks. All right, so corrective structures all around on the indices as well as the cryptocurrencies. Lastly, on the indices is the NIFTY. NIFTY has made also a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it looks like it still still wants to complete the wave 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Still going to be a bit of a move to the upside before we get any pullback. That is the NIFTY and what to expect there. All right, now let's go into this week's analysis. We'll start on the majors. We'll come to the majors now. The dollar index, looking at the Forex pairs now. Right, somebody's looking for Netflix. No, sorry, we do not have we don't have time to do Netflix. I only do the pairs that I've got listed. So unfortunately, if you are in our group, I think you are in our group, so you can ask for that for analysis of Netflix during the daily webinars. Here we're only doing the listed pairs. Otherwise, this is going to take forever. Let's take a look at the DXY and what we forecasted last week. Let's go full screen here. This is exactly how the DXY has played out. So we forecasted that this was going to drop. This was an entry here on the DXY. We've come to this level. Okay. Now the question is, are we going to get this to reverse here? Indications on the rest of the pairs that are correlated, that are inverse to the dollar index, such as the AUD US dollar, Euro US dollar, are showing signs of reversal. So this should possibly reverse at current levels, and we start making a move to the upside. So that is the focus on the dollar index. If this is going to make a continuation to the downside, it can only be up to this level. Be up to this level. I'm going to switch off the labeling here, so you can see the structure only. Let's just switch it off. Let's switch off here so it can be clear, so we can only see the structure. When you see the structure, that's more important than labeling. So this we expect to be making this regular flat and possibly another move to the upside, which will be this move. The move to the downside, a corrective structure, and then a move again to the downside. Now the question is whether we're going to reverse at this level. If we reverse at this level, that means this is another lower degree structure here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that means we've got A, B, C in the lower degree, and then A, B, C in the higher degree in purple here. This is the structure that we are looking for here on the DXY. High degree like that. Now we are here at this level. We'll be looking for a bounce. We're looking for a bounce. It can even come down to the next level. Even if it comes down to the next level here, not because it's a support or resistance or a supply or demand area, so we don't trade it like that. We look at the wave. So this can even come to this level. This structure will not change. It will still be a flat. So you can even come to this level and make a bounce from there. And the bounce will come as follows. I'll show it with green. That bounce will be like that, correction, and then a bounce. So you can see that the overall structure on purple does not change regardless of whether this reverses at current levels or it makes the move on the next level. Okay, so for those that are interested in the structure and the labeling, I'll just switch it on so you can take some notes and you can mark your charts as well. So that's what we're going to be looking for on the dollar index. So Euro US dollar is already showing signs of reversal. I'm going to go to Euro US dollar now, so you can see that Euro US dollar looks like it's starting to make a move to the downside, as this is, we're expecting a move to the upside. Let's look at Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar, You can see that is the inverse chart of the dollar index. It's exactly the inverse chart of the dollar index. We're looking for this one. Last week we were looking for it to break to the upside, which has happened. Broke to the upside. Looks like we are already starting a move to the downside here. Let's show this one here. Structure is this one in yellow. Let's switch off here. Let's just show the structure. Structure is that one in yellow. And higher degree, we've got this here. And in the lower degree than that will be the green. So the green is corrected by that. Now we're looking for the green to do this. Back to the low here. So we're looking for a reversal here to the downside. That's why we're looking for a reversal to the upside on the dollar index, because they are inversely correlated. Then we'll expect a move to the upside. Now I'm forecasting way ahead here, but obviously when you focus longer moves like this or a number of waves like this, the accuracy goes down. But at this point, we've got enough data to see that this is likely to make a move to the downside. And that is what we're going to be looking for. All right, so that is a Euro US dollar. Look for this. Need to confirm that it's going to go down like that with a pulsing move and a correction. That is Euro US dollar. Pound US dollar, I showed this one during trade recaps. Let's have a look at how this is playing out. Now, last week, this is what we focused on pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, I expected it to do this and then down. So we were only up to here on last week. So that's why I said this is 3 up. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see the structure. So this was our focus last week on pound. A move up, looking at this as a corrective structure. So this is where we were. I expected this one here to come to this level. Okay. Even when these did not reversed and continued higher, we saw that this one actually was reversing at the 1,618 of this 1,618 of that move at this level. Okay. But instead it still went up higher. So that means it was making an 11 swing sequence like this. So we've got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 the last one. Let me show you the structure clearly here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is W, that is X, that is Y, that is X, that is Z. Now this means that this corrective structure has now completed, and we'll be looking for pound US dollar to come retest the low here. So look for trades to the downside on pound US dollar in the next coming week. Back to that level, that's what we're going to be looking at. With the dollar index expecting strength, we should see that should very likely be the move to expect. All right, so that is pound US dollar, and that is what we got there. All right, so US dollar CAD, I've already showed you this from the website during the trade recaps. Let's just see what Euro US dollar looked like last week. Euro US dollar CAD. Let's go to my channel here so you can see what we looked at on US dollar CAD. So we didn't just focus one move that you see here currently. Scroll up, look at US dollar CAD. Right, so this was US dollar CAD. This is what I wanted to show you during trade recap. We didn't just focus the one move. So this move has played out as you've seen. With this move up to this level has played out, but we've made a bounce from this level. Now, if it's making a bounce here, it looks like this is still going sideways. That means that corrective structure is still continuing like that. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Okay, so this is how it played out here. It made a move up, made a move down. Last week, this is where we were. This was the week before when we made a focus for upside, come down here, focused that it was going to come down. It is up to this level now. Let's look at where this is going to go. Now, with the dollar strength, this may continue higher. With the dollar index strength, this may continue higher. We've made a bounce here. I was expecting this. Didn't go all the way. Missed this by a bit. So with the dollar strength, this looks like this is going to retest the top here. Now, if that is the case, that means we could be getting a double correction here. So we've got the first 3 waves as W, and we should get another 3 waves here as X, 1, 2, 3. That means you're still gonna have another 3 waves as Y before continuing lower. So for now, we've got enough data to tell us this is gonna make a move to the upside. Okay, so that X corrective structure could be another 3 wave structure like that. This could be another 3 wave structure like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's just take off the yellow. Okay, I'm gonna just leave this one in yellow so you can identify that it's an X corrective structure. Right, so we are here to complete the lower degree X here. So that's what we're going to be looking for, corrective structure and a push higher. So this is also supported by the dollar index, regardless of what oil is doing for the CAD. Right, so that's what you're going to be looking for on US dollar CAD upside. US dollar chief, showed this one with trade recaps. We've come down to this level. There are no indication of reversal as yet, but we can see some indications of reversal on the Euro US dollar for downside. So this should possibly make a move to the upside. So we'll see with the market opens. If we get this move here, so that means we are going to get that dollar strength that we're expecting. Okay, so even if we get a slight bit of a move to the downside, that's possible because they're not just going to reverse it like that. You might just get a slight move to the downside. This move comes with divergence on the RSI, and then we start making a move to the upside. Now you can see that the structure is the same as what you have on the dollar index, where you're going to have this bigger structure here doing that. Let me draw it cleanly here. Bigger structure doing that, and then you've got this one as a lower degree structure. This one will be the structure here. Let's complete it like that. I should use a different color here. I should use a different color for the internal correction in blue. Let's use green there. So that is what we have. Now to label this, it's a complex correction, A, B, higher degree. That's the highest degree that you have here. That's what we'll be expecting. I've shown you the structure on the dollar index as well. It's exactly the same. You can look at the dollar index as well for this. And then in the yellow will be an A, B, and a C. Then the green is also an A, B, C. It's not always going to be ABC. Sometimes it can be double XY depending on the structure. In this specific structure, you've got pulsing moves. That's why I've got ABCs all around. So we're looking for this one to make a bounce from current levels. That is a US dollar chief, Audi US dollar. I've shown you Audi US dollar from the trade recaps, what we expected. We expected it to reverse here. So it looks like this corrective structure has ended. Now, what we will be looking for on Audi US dollar is a pullback and continuation to the downside, at least to the 50% of this swing. Okay, so we've completed the 3 waves up here, right? Let's switch off here. There's the 3 waves to the upside. And in the purple degree, let's just show the lower degree here. 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 1, 2, 3 up, and that is your W, X, Y structure completed. Now we're looking for this one to the downside. Right, so that is Audi US dollar. Very clear. New Zealand, similar, exactly the same structure. Exactly the same structure on the New Zealand. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 waves down there, X here, and Y here. So we'll be looking for this on the New Zealand. Right, so the New Zealand, we may have to make some adjustments here. When you look at this structure, okay, let's look at how we can make the adjustments here. I'm going to take this off, and this is how we adjust as the market moves on. This can likely be a structure like this. Can come down here. Let's see here, 1. And this one looks like a 3 wave, so we could be having a structure like this. Now, if this is the case, this will be coming down here, and this will be the move to the upside. Now, if that is the move to the upside, that means we're still going to have a move to the continuation to the upside. Now, as I've said, the further you forecast, the accuracy goes a bit low. But what you have enough data for is that this is making a move to the downside. Any corrective structure, we're at least going to retest this level. Only if this level is invalidated will we expect it to go to the 50% as forecasted. That's how we look at that. That is New Zealand US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR, very interesting how it's playing out. Very simple analysis as well. So this is making a move to the upside during the week. We wanted it to come here at this level, the previous low. We wanted it to break the low here so that we can then expect to see the continuation to the upside. But we didn't break the low, but that's okay. So that has still made a regular flat. That's still a regular flat. We've made a pulsing move to the upside. We'll look for a corrective structure. We're going to the all-time highs here on US dollar ZAR. All-time highs again. Looks like we're going to retest the all-time highs at 1960. Let's just make sure on. Let's just make sure here. So the all-time highs at 1960. Looks like we're going to break the all-time highs here and make new highs on US dollar ZAR. So weakness for the ZAR going forward still. Right. US dollar, let's look at the yen pairs. So we've already looked at US dollar JPY and how this is playing out compared to the forecast. Let's look at the 1 hour. Now, because of the rest of the yen pairs that are pushing higher, when you look at this structurally, this should come down. This should come down, continue lower. We've made the 3 waves there. We should see continuation to the downside. So this continuation to the downside should come with a pullback on euro and CHF as well as pound yen. So I'll be expecting this one to continue lower and not reverse exactly at this area. We should continue lower. But if it continues lower, it invalidates the structure that we have. So I'll update the structure if we see continuation to the downside on US dollar JPY. Pound yen. Let's have a look at this one. This one it's got a very nice structure. Very nice structure on pound yen. So we've made a move to the downside. We've seen the 3 waves here. Like that. Now we're coming down. Now pullbacks here on pound yen can be sold for at least a move back to this level. And then we'll be looking for continuation to the downside. So any pullback on pound yen, you sell it. Euro yen, we've made a pulsing move now. I showed you at the beginning how we forecasted the reversal of these moves because of the blue box on CHF yen. We got the reversal. Even if euro did not quite reach the blue box, we saw the push up higher because CHF had already reached. They are correlated, so that happens. Now, we should be seeing a pullback here. So this is the pullback that I'm saying will push US dollar JPY down, pound yen down, as well as CHF yen down. So a pullback here or sideways move on CHF and euro. Let's go to CHF. Now CHF from the blue box, not a peep lower, not a peep higher, exactly from the blue box, makes a reversal. Now you'll be looking for a clear corrective structure. You need to know what a corrective structure looks like and the characteristics of the corrective structures of the Elliott Wave theory in order to know when it's complete and when to enter here if we're going to get a move to the upside there. So we'll be waiting for this pullback here on CHF yen. I'm expecting at least a 3-wave move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, like that. Minimum 3 waves. CAD yen. Now CAD yen, if I go to the website before that, so I expected CAD yen to have only made 3 waves here and push lower. Now this is what happens with the wave theory. There's double corrections. So you will never know whether it's going to be a double or a triple. So we've got a way to manage that. So here it went and made a double. As you can see, that was the first correction, which we expected it to drop. But then it goes and makes another one, another 3 waves. So that makes a double XY corrective structure, and now our correction is bigger, is this one. It has now broken. Now you can look to sell pullbacks. See how clear this is. Now you've got this structure, you've got a move down, you've got a correction, you're looking for a move to the downside. But be careful when you get to this level, because you should see a bounce around that level. So any pullback on CAD yen can be sold. So we're expecting downside on the yen pace. Audi yen, same as Audi US dollar, we expected it to reverse at the end of the corrective structure. So this one had a 11 swing sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now we've completed the Z, we'll be looking for this one to make a move to the downside. So you look for entries to the downside. New Zealand is actually going sideways like New Zealand US dollar. So we've got this structure. It looks like we're going to have this. Okay, so that will be a move up in 3 waves, and 3 waves back. We should see it at least come down to this level. Let's switch off here so you can see the structure clearly. So now the lower degree on New Zealand is this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. W, X, Y. For now, we're not worried about the Y. We can only see that this is going to make the next move to the downside. When we get here, we're going to start looking for signs of reversal for the Y. That is New Zealand yen. And looking at the commodities, let me go to the site on gold, silver and gold. Let's have a look at what this looks like. These are already updated, so I'll show you from the site. Let's look at the commodities. Gold for hour. We're looking for continuation to the upside. But this wave 4 is not complete. You'll see the detail now on the 1 hour. We're expecting that after the corrective structure, we're going to make a bit of a push to the upside. Now, let's look at the 1 hour with a bit of more detail on that corrective structure. So we may still push a little bit higher on gold, come back down, and make a move to the upside. So essentially, the structure that we'll be making on gold is this one. This B corrective structure here, and this green A, B, C corrective structure, and a move to the upside. So still going to be a bit sideways here on gold. The move to the upside is not convincing because it may come back here for one before it goes up. That is gold. Silver, 1 hour. Looking for it to drop slightly to complete this structure. This is the latest chart updated over the weekend. So this is what we're expecting on silver. Bit of a drop before continuation to the upside. All right, those are the commodities. And then oil. Oil, we're expecting it to now, yes, last week we were here, we're expecting it to push up higher. That's what we got here. We've pushed up in 3 waves. The question is whether this is enough. So we should see oil push slightly higher and make a pullback in 3 waves. Right, those are the commodities. Now let's go into the pound pairs. Let's go to the pound pairs. Pound chief. Now, pound chief, similar to the rest of the pound pairs, will be expecting downside. This is the structure that you're looking for here on pound chief. We're looking for this one to continue higher like that. Continuation to the downside here. Any pullback, we'll be looking for pound chief to at least get back to this level. Right? Let me check the chart box here. Okay, so pound chief, that's what we're going to be looking at. We're looking for this. At least get to this level. Pullbacks, we're getting to this level. All right, so that's pound chief, pound Audi. Now, pound Audi, let's go to the pound pairs. As you can see, you'll see that these have played out exactly as we expected them to. So let's look at pound Audi. I showed you the 2-year corrective structures that pound Audi has been in. Let's have a look here. So this is the weekly on pound Audi. So we were looking for pound Audi to do that. The pullback that you saw on Friday, that is what we've got here now. Looks like it's still going to make a 3-wave structure here. So this is on the daily. Let's go into the lower time frame here on pound Audi. So before we go there, let's go to the 4 hour as well. So on the 1 hour, we expected it to come drop here and make a push to the upside, which is exactly what has happened. It dropped down and then made a pullback. But this pullback, we're expecting it to play out in 3 waves. Let's go to the actual chart here on Pound Audi. Pound Audi on the 1 hour. So this is the pullback. So it went down here to the 90 exactly as we forecasted and made that reversal. Now we are making this corrective structure. So I wanted to make another move, at least to the upside. So that's the pullback. So we want it in 3 waves. So look out for this in the next coming sessions. Don't rush it. This may take a bit of time, a couple of sessions, and then a move to the upside. Pound New Zealand, let's look at it on the site as well. Pound New Zealand, again, we expected it to drop and then a push to the upside. How did that play out? Let's now switch some of these windows off. Now, the nice thing about the website is that we do not embed the charts on the website. When you click on a chart, it goes to a separate window, so that enables you to see a clear chart. Right, so Pound New Zealand, we're expecting to come down like that. You'll see that we took some trades to the downside on Pound New Zealand last week as well. So this is Pound New Zealand. Last week we took a trade. Where did we get a trade here on Pound? We must have gotten some trades to just trade this piece here. Some trades up from here as well last week. And then even when this made a 3-wave structure here, this was the move to the downside. Now we expected that drop, and now we've got that pullback. I'm expecting now that we're going to have a bit of a pullback to the upside. Now this structure may change slightly. Let me just give you an indication of how this may play out on the 4 hour, but we're not looking at that for now. We're looking for that one move to the upside. Just want you to be mindful of the structure that could also play out here. So we've got a move down here in 3 waves. We have started a move up in 3 waves. Let me make this a bit of full screen so you can anticipate this as well as an alternative. We've made a move down in 3 waves. We've made a move up in 3 waves. I'm going to use a different color. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Now it looks like we've also made a move down in 3 waves. So if this is the case, that means we should make another move up in 3 waves before we get a move to the downside, like this. What does this do now? What that does is you've got now a WXY structure in the yellow, and you've got a lower degree WXY structure there, WXY. So this current move is the correction in the lower degree for this one, which we can use the green color, ABC in this case, AB pullback, and then we'll be looking for a C to at least go break that high here. That's the structure on Pound New Zealand. That's why we're looking for another wave up here. Right, so that is a New Zealand Pound CAD. Now Pound CAD, we have been selling Pound CAD up until last week. Just looking to complete this structure. I showed you why Pound CAD will continue higher. Let me show you on the structure here. Pound CAD, the reason why we're expecting continuation to the upside is this one here. This is on the daily. Pound CAD has made this expanding flat, has made this push to the upside. So from the 11th of April, we've been waiting for this corrective structure here to start building. Now this, what I've just drawn here, what I've done with this, let's see what this is actually on the real chart. It is this 3-wave structure. That is what we're looking for. Okay, it has made this 3-wave structure, but it does not look clean enough for it to go all the way up. Let's have a look at it. So we've made a 3-wave move. If we are looking at it like this, it looks like a regular flat, but there's a likelihood that this takes the top here, makes a move down, and then continue higher. That will not change the structure. It will still be a move here, an A B corrective structure, and a C. And the lower degree will be a WXY structure, WXY. Y, push higher, come back down, and then a move to the upside. This does not have to happen. We don't need to have the move to the downside, but we'll see when we get to this level whether we're getting reversal signs. If we're getting reversal signs, then we're putting buy orders here at the bottom again. That is pound CAD. Euro pound. Now euro pound, because of the reversal in the pound pairs, we're looking for a move back to this level. Now, there's a possibility that this may go even more sideways. If we look at a structure like this, let's get the yellow here, make it a bit bigger, yellow again. Let's focus on the last bit here. So on the yellow, on euro pound, it's 1, it's 2, here is 3. So that is a corrective structure on its own. So we don't know if this is making another double here yet, because that is 3. Is it going to make another one here to the upside? If it does, then we've got that. And we must have another pullback in 3 waves. I didn't show the 3 waves, but it should be something like this. It can be a zigzag here. It can be a similar regular flat again, either of the corrective structure before we come down. Now that will be a W, that will be a X, that will be a Y structure. Okay, so for now, we've got enough data to tell us that there's a potential for a move to the upside to at least go retest the top there. Keep an eye on that. That is euro pound. Right, euro New Zealand. Let's go to euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, from the site, I showed you when we started with the trade recaps that this was the setup. We expected the Euro New Zealand to come down and then push up higher like that. Now the question is whether this is ready now for another wave up. I think that is likely to happen, to get another 3-wave move to the upside. Now the structure itself is this here. Let's show the labeling here. So we're looking at this as an A, so that's why we're looking at this one to correct and make another move to the upside, because that is a 3-wave move we're expecting here. Okay, that is on the 4-hour. Okay, right, that is New Zealand, the Euro New Zealand, EURAUD. Let's look at EURAUD. EURAUD, we corrected here, made a move to the downside and made a bounce. So exactly as expected, you'll see this one in the beginning on trade recaps, played out 1, 2. Now we're expecting another one and then a move to the upside. That will complete the wave 2. So expect or trade this next move to the upside on EURAUD. EURCAD. So very nice setups for the week coming. We would have this, we'll be trading this in the live trading room in our group. So that's EURCAD now, loading EURCAD. There we go. So EURCAD as forecasted, we expected it to come down to the lower boundary of this flag. It was here last week. We forecasted that it was going to come down to the lower boundary and make a move. It has even broken out of the diagonal there, so we should see a pullback and continuation to the upside. Need to track this because there's potential very good moves in the next coming week. Right, so that's EURCAD, simple moves on the euros. EUROCHIF. EUROCHIF made a move here. Is this going to be a corrective structure? So EUROCHIF here, not a good one to look at because this corrective structure looks like it's still in the making, nowhere close to being complete. So let's see if this is going to make a move here, down, and then make a move, a continuation to the upside, at least one up. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at on EUROCHIF, but there's no setup here. And the focus is also not that accurate. Let's look at the crosses. Crosses, AUDCHIF, pull back here and a move to the upside. Let me go to the site and look at the crosses from the site. It's easier here because you've got charts. Let's look at the cross pairs. Audi New Zealand, I showed you this one during trade setups that we forecasted the move, the 400 pip move up to this level, exactly up to this level. From here, we've made this move. Now we're looking at the current move to the downside as a pullback. That's why we're expecting at least a three-way pullback here before that move continues lower. That is only the red minor wave 4, so we'll expect a continuation to the upside. Let's see how that plays out. We should see a pullback here, but this may be a bit shallow. We may even get back to around this level, but we'll be watching it. That is Audi New Zealand. AUDCAD, also forecasted this one from right here at the bottom, as you've seen with trade recaps. Now we have been looking at trade AUDCAD to reverse with this diagonal, makes a throw over here. So we'll be looking for it to at least make a pullback in 3 waves to correct with that yellow degree. Then we'll expect continuation to the upside, but we're not worried about this now. We're looking for this to continue down for now. That's the trade for the next coming week. All right, that is CAD, AUDCAD, AUDCHIEF. Just looked at AUDCHIEF. AUDCHIEF, this is actually the latest forecast. This is the updated forecast. So for now, just look out for this. Okay, we also forecasted this. Almost 95% of all the listed pairs on our side have played out, and now this is the latest updated. We're looking for this one to come down after the pullback. May go sideways and then continue higher, but for now we'll be worried about this. To do that and continue lower, then we get the short-term trades to the downside. Right, that is AUDCHIEF, New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD update, latest update, expecting this to drop back down to this level. So this will be a WXY structure. We'll be looking for it to drop down to this level. Corrective structure, looking for this to come down. Very clear structures. New Zealand Chief. We've already made a pulsing move. Showed you this one during trade recaps. Looking for this one to come down here for the wave, red minor wave X. Right, that is AUDCHIEF. And lastly, CADJPY. CADJPY, we're looking for, it's got a very nice structure. It's even getting out of the upside corrective structure here. A pullback here, then we get a nice move to the downside. May even go lower. So let's see how this plays out. Right, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and share the videos as well. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck trading. Trade responsibly. See you next week. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.